What's going on, folks? Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to the channel. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and welcome to my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. Do me a favor, double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And then when you do think that you are subscribed to the channel, what you need to do is go over to the little bell notification and the little bell notification, like that little thing right there. See that? That little thing right there. If you click on that, it should show you there's something that says all notifications. Make sure that that bell is clicked to all notifications. Okay. Appreciate it if you did that. All right. And then as the video plays on, don't forget, as you see this little thing scrolling at the bottom down here, don't forget to click the thumbs up button if you like what I am doing on this channel. All right. So what I'm going to do right now, because I know that a lot of people are not getting notified, I'm going to wait for a few people to come in. And just to make sure that most people are going to be able to see this video that I'm going to play, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it myself. So if you guys all can hear me, appreciate you guys all being here again. And I'm getting ready to roll right on into this because this ties into a lot of things you guys heard me talk about on this channel, especially something that I just recently talked about regarding a movie. All right. So I'm going to show you guys this video real quick, all right? Give me a second. Here we go.
I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa, and when across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages.
Well, well, well. Well. Didn't see that coming, did he? Didn't see that coming, did he? I absolutely love that. And I hope that all you people who watch CNN, I hope that all that you watch CNN got a little bit of a history lesson here. You know the history they keep from American history? Yeah. Don Lemon roasted over royal experts' answer on Britain's paying reparations. And you know what? He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. CNN clip goes viral as guest pushes back on the crown owing slavery reparations. CNN clip goes viral as a guest pushes back on the crown owing slavery reparations. British royals expert Hilary Fordwich stunned CNN anchor Don Lemon into silence with her argument that African slave owners owe reparations rather than the British Empire in the viral clip from CNN's coverage of the death of the Queen. Conservatives on Twitter found the clip hilarious as it depicted Lemon getting swift pushback for trying to promote the narrative that the British Crown owes reparations for slavery. Observers noted Lemon meekly switching topics without protest after Fordwick's unexpected response. Of course he did. Of course he did. What can he say when she brought that truth? Huh? What can he say? What could Don Lemon have said when she brought them truth bombs? I told you, people malfunction when you hit them with the real truth. They do not know what to do. They do not know how to act. These people on this show have always been pushing some shape, form, or fashion of race baiting. Don Lemon is always race baiting and trying to cause a division. Barrett Granger said, "How you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well, sir. Continue on that journey of yours." Let me continue reading on with this, ladies and gentlemen. The clip, which gained viral attention on Tuesday, though it originally aired on CNN's Don Lemon Tonight around a week ago, began with the host telling Fordwich that, he said, "You have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism. And they're wondering, 100 billion, 24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Nice try, Don Lemon. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you have all this vast wealth? There are legitimate concerns," is what Don Lemon said. So you hear he said some people want to be paid back. How do you get paid back something that you never lent out? Currently, right now, how do you get paid back something that you never borrowed out or that you never loaned out? Oh, we loaned out our work, we loaned out our this. He said, why are we suffering when you have all this wealth? Those are legitimate concerns, Lemon stated. Ford would agree that the desire for reparations is alive and well, though those who want it can look to African slavers. Uh-oh. Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of the supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain, she asked. That was in Africa. She continued, across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery, she said. Across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation to abolish slavery, she asked. Guess who it was? It was British, Fordwick declared. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings, like the woman king, the homies, not the homie in the hood, but the homie tribe, the homies, because African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them in cages waiting in the beaches, she said. She concluded, I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say, who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages? Absolutely. That's where they should start. After her answer, Lemon provided no pushback. He simply nodded, mentioned, it's an interesting discussion, and moved on to the next segment. Of course he did that. You better hurry up and deflect. You better hurry up and move on to something, because she was about to bring it home on you, sir. I told y'all, they expect you to get on a lot of these shows and just be completely ignorant, don't know what you're talking about, so they can try to get the best of you. So on that one right there, nice try on trying to start a race war, Don Lemon. It did not work. And just like today, and like I talked about last night, I talked about a culture of people. The same culture of people is the same like type mentality of culture of people back then. Want to sell you into slavery. The only difference is that the slavery that a lot of blacks is being sold into today is the slavery of staying on the mental plantation of oppression, of being disenfranchised, of being we can't get ahead because the white man is oppressing us, of systemic racism. CRT is going to be our Bible now. That right there is the same exact thing that those slaves did back then. Those slaves sold them into a system that they would become physical slaves, right? No, not those slaves, those slavers, African slave traders, African kings. They sold black people into physical slavery. So-called people right now today, the ones who get up here and argue, man, we were kings. We have a royalty bloodline. We're kings, man. You same kings are selling black people into slavery right now. But it's a mental slavery. You selling them this nonsense that we can't get ahead because of white people. You selling them this nonsense of, this systemic racism. You selling them this nonsense of CRT. You're selling them this nonsense that there's always somebody out there that's keeping them down. You selling them the nonsense that food is racist. You selling them the nonsense that math, reading, and English is racist. You're selling them all this nonsense, and you selling them right into slavery. But then you have individuals who broke away from that. And then you would tell those same black people that you're trying to put in slavery mentally that those are the ones that are the sellouts. The ones who broke out of the cages and broke away, the ones who got out of the mental plantation, you will tell other black people those are the real sellouts. How dare these black people escape out of the mental plantation? How dare these black people escape out of the hood mentality? How dare these people, white people too, how dare these white people escape out of the trailer park mentality? How dare these white people escape out of the backwoods hillbilly mentality? How dare they go and do something that nobody in their family is doing? How dare they go and live amongst modern people in the modern world, doing modern things, living in better homes, better houses, better environments? How dare they do that? Those are the sellouts, ladies and gentlemen. They're not a part of us. They might be skin folk, but they ain't kin folk. What is that supposed to mean to me? What is it supposed to mean because you say I might be skin folk, but I ain't kin folk? I'm not related to you. I'm not related to you because of my skin. Notice how when people have something in common, they say, I can relate to that. So if the only thing that makes you and I related is my skin color, then you're right. I'm skin folk, but I'm not kinfolk. I relate to people based on what's going on up here. I relate to people based on if they got the same interests and likings that I do. There's white people that I'm interested in. We got the same mindset. We agree on a lot of things. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on a lot of things. We get along. There are black people. We agree on a lot of things. We agree on a ton of things regarding life, family, church, lifestyle, health, and there's things that we disagree on. But when you got individuals that just wholeheartedly just hate you because you are not trying to be like them, I don't relate to you. Therefore, I don't hang around you. And that's cool. That's completely fine. I get it. If somebody don't like the way that I'm doing things, if you are still of that plantation mentality, you have that hood mentality, you have the trailer park mentality, I don't relate to you either. You could be white, black. I'm telling y'all, listen to me. The mentality that is amongst people in the hood and people in the projects, listen, I said the mentality. I'm not talking about the people in case people are misunderstanding me. I'm saying of that mentality. If you are of that particular type of mentality, whether you are in the hood, the ghetto, or the trailer park, you all have the same mentality when it comes to people wanting to get out of it. You get upset. Then you started want to try to throw shots at them. Oh, you think you're better than us. Oh, you think you're something. Oh, you don't understand. Oh, you didn't got yourself out of the trailer park and now you act like you don't know anybody. You didn't got yourself out of the trailer park and you act like you can't come back here. You didn't got yourself out of the trailer park and you act like you're some uppity person. You still white trash underneath all of that. You came from a trailer park. You're still white trash. Black people do the same thing. Oh, you think you something because you didn't get out of the hood. You think you something because you got out of the projects, huh? You still, nigga, you still hood and ghetto. Yeah, you sure is. You still hood and ghetto. Now you didn't got out there and got you a nice house and everything like that. You some uppity Negro now, huh? You still a hood. They do the same exact thing. You're gonna get bashed whether you come from the trailer park and do well for yourself or whether you come from the projects of the hood and do better for yourself. Anyway, let me digress from that and get back on this. Most people that heard what this lady just said, what they're going to do is say, oh, no, what she's saying ain't right. Of course, a white woman going to say that because it was white people that enslaved us. No, it wasn't. That's what needs to get put through some of y'all heads. There is a difference between somebody enslaving you and somebody selling you into slavery. Black people sold more people into slavery than there was that white people that caught slaves. African kings sold black people into slavery. You don't want to eat that pill. You don't want to swallow that pill. Swallow it. Swallow it. Most people don't like medicine, but most of the time the medicine is good for you. The thing that you hate the most usually is the thing that helps you the best. Black folks, swallow that pill and come to the realization that your Negro ancestors, the one you up there brag about, we 400 years, our ancestors paved the way. Oh, but we need reparations. Well, you better go back to your motherland and go ask the black folks that sold you. Go ahead. Go back and ask the black kings and queens and Nubian princes and all that stuff. Go to Africa right now and tell them you want your reparations. You know what they're going to say? You come to my country, you get the hell out of here. Wakanda forever. No, let me stop. No, see, that's what it is, though. That's what happens when you get upset. That's what happens when you give people the truth. They get upset. Like right now, black folks, you have a problem. You have a major problem, black people. We have a major problem with owning up to what we did. We have a major problem to owning up to what we're doing right now. We don't even want to own up to the fact that we are the ones who are committing crimes against ourselves at an astronomical level that's killing each other, but we don't want to say nothing about that, but we will say something if a white person do it. Appreciate this super chat right here from the lowly one. Says, plug out of the matrix, face the truth. The homie sold you out. Exactly. Just like right now, black people that are killing black people that are robbing black people that are raping black people in these cities right now committing so much of these crimes in these high populated black cities against our own. If any black person comes up like myself and speak out against that, all of a sudden, oh, look at you. Well, you're not supposed to do that. Why? Because it's a black code. You're not supposed to talk about blacks if you black. You're not supposed to tell on blacks if you black. You're not supposed to snitch on blacks if you black. Because snitches get stitches. I ain't no punk. I ain't no narc. Like right now, don't want to hold up to responsibility as to what is plaguing black people at all. Don't want to face the truth. Don't want to face the reality that our problems is us. I'm diagnosing black people's major problem as black people in denial. That's what it is. The major problem with black people right now in America is black people are in denial. You're in denial that you're in the greatest country in the whole wide world right now where you can do anything you want to. You are in denial that you have a higher chance of getting killed by somebody that looks just like you. You are in denial that you are the reason why you are a baby mama with multiple kids. You are in denial that you chose to sleep with a bum A nigga. You chose to sleep with a lame A nigga. You are in denial that you got deceived into sleeping with this lame A nigga that don't want to take care of your children. Black men, you are in denial that you have bastardly children, when you are in denial of being a real father to your children. You are in denial that your thuggish ways is the reason why you are in jail and incarcerated, not because of some oppressive system. You made that choice. You are in denial that the biggest issue among black people is you, black man, as a father. You are in denial, black people, that slavery had nothing to do with skin color, because every human being on the face of the earth was being sold into slavery. You are in denial right now that you're so passionate about slavery that you're not talking about the people that are still enslaved right now. More people are enslaved right now than they ever were during the transatlantic slave trade. You're in denial of that. But you know what? You're in denial because you choose to be in denial. Not because you want to be in denial, and it ain't that you don't want to be in denial. You are choosing to be in denial because you do not want to sit there and face the facts. Because if you face the facts, then that means you won't have an excuse as to why you can't do what you want to do in America, plain and simple. That's it. It's that easy. All right, got another super chat here. Julia Flanagan said, "Thank you for telling the truth." Oh, sis, always. What makes people upset is that you have to understand, I was once there too, black people. I was once there. I was once caught up in all the propaganda, the sensationalism. I was caught up in all the black people. Whoa, look what they're doing. I was caught up in all that before. I was deceived. I'm telling you, so are you. But you know what Ty Smith did? I faced the facts. I faced reality. Reality is you're not going to be held back by some boogeyman, some system. Reality is you are able to accomplish anything that you want to. Not anything that somebody is telling you to want, but anything that you want to. A lot of people live their lives based off how they feel people see them. You heard me? A lot of people live their lives based off of how they feel people see them. I had a lot of people that I talked to that told me the reason why y'all didn't make any moves into doing what you wanted to do because you were living your life through the lens of how you felt other black people should see you. You wanted to, but you were scared to step out because you were afraid of what they thought. But then life is going to go on. Time does not stop for anybody. You're going to find yourself my age, just like some of my guys I talked to in Decatur. You're going to find yourself our age. You got one person that's on a success level doing super good. Don't think I'm just talking about money. I'm not talking about money. Matter of fact, money would be at the bottom of the list for me if I'm talking about success. No. Successful as in what? Food, shelter, clothing, health on a mental, spiritual, physical, emotional level. That is success. Having a good marriage of 21 years, that is success. That doesn't have anything to do with money. You can have a successful marriage and not be on a certain type of social economic ladder and still have a great successful marriage. That is success comes in all types of different categories. It comes into all type of different variables. It's not just money. Every time you bring up somebody successful, everybody instantly goes to money. I'm successful because I'm super healthy. Why? Because I choose to be super healthy. I choose what I put in my body, right? I'm in shape as far as cardio, strength, flexibility. Why? Because I practice those things to keep myself there. That's why. I don't have high blood pressure. Why? Because I don't eat the things that my ancestors ate a lot. I don't eat a lot of the fat back and greens with fat back in it and green beans with pork and neck bones and beans. And I don't eat that stuff I do eat it, but I do not eat it all the time like my ancestors did all the time. So guess what? Blood pressure does not run in my generation. No, from me and my wife to my children, that does not run in us. Diabetes don't run in us. Heart conditions don't run in us. Why? I chose not to do those things. I chose not to eat that way. That is success, ladies and gentlemen. I like what this guy, one of my favorite rappers named Jim Stone, said. He said, success is not defined by what you got, but by the things you overcome when you've been through a lot. You can be successful in that. You can be successful in many, many ways. And there is nothing that's keeping you there. The victim mentality is going to be the number one thing that's going to keep a lot of black folks down. Jenny Magazine, sis, I really appreciate that $10 super chat right there. I really, really appreciate that. But no, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people just don't want to face the facts, because if you do, it's not going to give you an excuse anymore. It will not give you an excuse. I've said this all the time. There's some people that disagree with me. They feel that black people should get reparations. And I always said no, because it's too much stuff you got to trace back. How do you know that you weren't part of the black people that was like, how do you know you're not of the lineage of Anthony B. Johnson? That man was a black man that was the first one that legally owned a slave through the court system. Anthony B. Johnson, black man. How do you know you're not a descendant of his bloodline? Huh? How do you know you're not a descendant of the black people that came to the United States up north? And all they did was hear about slavery. They heard the stories about other blacks that looked like them being whipped and beat in the southern states. How do you know you're not a descendant of those black people up in the northern areas that never even tasted any of that? So what are you talking about? So when you talk about reparations, how do you know where you're from? And again, it does not matter, because guess what? The fact that those people even made it over here was most of the time, 90% of the time, was because you were sold into slavery by other black people. Chinese had one of the biggest slave trades of their own people than the whole world. India did. Big, huge slave trade. Arabs, huge slave trade. But we make it seem like we just so special though, right? That's the issue. See, when I do what I'm doing right now, the reason why it pisses a lot of black people off, because then you see that you just as level as everybody else. You're nothing special. You telling me that all these other races can come over to America and exceed even other blacks? Black people from Africa will come over to the United States and outdo other black people born here in the United States. Do you know all the stuff they had to go through just to get here? A lot of black people from Africa that come over to the United States to become, I've hired and worked around tons of other ones that became occupational therapists, certified occupational therapists, physical therapist assistants. A lot of black Africans came over here, and they get over here and they hustle. I'm not going to lie. They get over here and they hustle. They become therapists. These fools will work. Look, I'm not calling them fools. Like, I'm talking about, like, I'm saying fool in a good way. These folks will get over here. They will come and work a full 8-hour shift where I hire them at, right? Then they will go and do like 3 or 4 hours of extra PRN at other facilities to bank up money. That's what they do. Get over here and make a killing. Matter of fact, one of my therapists told me, she said, Mr. Ty, she said, I only can do 3 hours every day for you this week. She said, because I'm trying to keep myself under making $200,000 a year, because I don't want to get a certain amount of taxes taken out. Get over here and they make a killing. But then here we are. We're born into it, black people. We are born into it. We're privileged to it. We're heirs to the opportunities of America. But they don't want you to see it that way. It is if I sat there and told you that you are heir to a bunch of money, wouldn't you do and find out all the things you need to do to get that money? Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you do that? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Again, let me say that again for the people in the back. If you knew that you are heir to all this money and property and real estate and investments, wouldn't you do everything you need to do to find out how you're supposed to get it? So what I'm saying, I say this to a lot of blacks. If you know that you are heir to all the opportunities that America allows you to have, especially now, There's not one black person from a single parent home that should not be able to go to college basically for free. Yes, you heard me, for free. You already going to get a Pell Grant. You already going to get the MAP grant, minority of something, a promissory something. And then they got these other scholarships and grants out there for you just because you came from a single parent home. That's for black people. White people don't even get that. Black people. But all you doing, no, I can't go to college, homie. No, man, that's them white folks, man. Them white folks, man. See, the white people. The white people. So I'm almost certain. Not almost. I'm certain. With 100% certainty that those scholarships that are in place, like the Pell Grant and the MAP grant, and the coming from a single parent home grant, and the grant is if you even on top of that, they give you a grant if your parents made under $20,000, your parent made under $20,000 grant, and if you grew up in a certain area in your neighborhood grant, all those things go towards your college. I'm almost certain that a white person is the reason why those grants are in place, but then it's white people that's keeping you there. I guarantee you, when I went to college, of course I was on a scholarship, but I'm just telling y'all the truth. When I went to college, I was on a full ride scholarship, right? They still gave me the Pell Grant. They still gave me the MAP grant. They actually looked at my mom's income and then gave me a grant because my mom didn't make no more than $25,000 a year. They gave me a grant for that. Then they gave me a grant because of the fact that my dad wasn't in the picture. It was like called pretty much like the abandoned bastardly child grant. They gave me a grant for that. I'm looking at my wife like, is this for real? Now, my wife is the one, because when she was in college, she actually, while in college, she worked in a financial aid office, right? She told me about all this stuff because my wife went to my wife went to historically black college. My wife did. All these grants and these things are in place. My wife tell you they were not put there by no black person. And let me raise the bar a little bit. Let me raise y'all another one. When I was going through college, did y'all know I did not get one Al Sharpton charity grant? I did not get one Jesse Jackson charity grant. I didn't get one NAACP grant. I didn't get nothing from the people that got black. I didn't get no Rainbow Coalition push grant. I didn't get nothing from them at all. But all these other grants that came from white people, you want to sit back and talk about, oh, you oppressed, when they're practically letting you go to school for free. When they're practically letting you go to school for free. And God forbid you came up through if you black, you came up through a foster home, you go to college for free. Just because you came out of the foster system, they have a thing set in place where you come out of a foster system, you get to go to college for free on top of having a Pell Grant, the MAP grant, the bachelor's grant, the mother making under $20,000 grant, the father not being in your life grant. You get all that extra money right there to do what you want to with it. You talk about opportunity. There's been people that me and my wife have helped that actually took advantage of this. And guess what? Let me give y'all an example. One of the foster kids, let me give y'all a different example. Okay. Of the people that we know about, we've known of individuals that were in the foster system, right? Went to college. They're going for free. They got all these different grants, almost totaling about darn near $18,000. And they don't have to pay that back. We made sure that, for one, they put that money to a place to where they can invest it properly. And number two, they bought themselves a car and focused on school. Then we tell them by the time you get out of school, that money is going to be there waiting on you. Let that money get into a CD. Y'all know what CDs is? You know what that? Do you know what like stock options are? Put that money in there in the bank and just put it in a CD. Let it grow. Put it in something to where you just buy like a little bit of something that actually gives you dividends. Let it stay there through your 4 years of college. Don't worry. You don't even need it right now. Your meals is free in college. You worry about studying and going to college. Let it stay there. By the time you get out of college, that money is going to about double by the time you get out. This is what I'm talking about. But guess what? Oh, no. Disenfranchisement, keeping you downtrodden, keeping you back. Oh, we can't get ahead. You can't do this. You can't do that. But anyway, for the people in the back, what I'm talking about right now, what I'm discussing is all 347 of you all being in here right now. And I appreciate you guys all streaming in here right now. Do me a favor. Don't forget to hit that like button so this video can be circulated within a YouTube algorithm. Some of you are texting me saying you can't read what the shirt up here says that I have pinned up here. The shirt says truth knows no color. You get it? Truth. Like I know, truth knows no color. And that goes perfectly along with this right here. So for the people that did not hear this video, I'll play it for you one more again. Check this out.
I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of the supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa, and when across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? First nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages.
Now, go before a university. Go before a historically black college and ask them that question. If you was to go down the supply chain and ask for that reparations, then you got to go to the one who was actually selling you to slavery. They're not going to do that. You want to know why? Because you have been taught amongst the black culture not to own up to your own mistakes. You have been taught amongst the black culture that you cannot do no wrong because all the wrong has been done to you. You have been taught amongst the black culture that black people can't be racist or anything like that. You have been taught that. It is an absolute, complete lie, and it's going to mess you up mentally. Plain and simple. You will never be able to be in any place, any work setting where it is not ran by generous white people. Plain and simple. You won't be able to go nowhere where everything, I mean, unless it's just like black generational wealth. But most of the time, in order for you to create your own wealth, whether you want to go into real estate or anything like that, start your own business, you will most likely be getting your loan from a white person who has white bank with white people's money. So stop acting like, oh, everything is just completely against you. Everything that you live in right now most likely came from a white person. Everything that you have right now most likely was purchased and bought from a white person. If you rent an apartment right now, most likely your landlord is white. And if the landlord is not white, then God, if the landlord is black, then good for him. But guess what? That landlord that is black, that got the loans to actually possibly buy that apartment complex, he got that loan most likely from a white person. So for all these black people who are successful in America regarding money, most likely if they got businesses going, if they got, clothing lines, if they got real estate, if they got investments, they most likely got that from white people. Now, you heard what she said at the end of this video. British was the first to end it. So the British was willing not only to kill white people to keep the transatlantic slave from going on, the transatlantic slave trade from going on, but the British was also willing to kill and stop other black people, tell them to stop. As a matter of fact, that movie with the homie, the Woman King, yeah, white people were willing to fight against those black woman kings and their real male king to keep them from selling their own people into slavery. Nobody talks about that, do they? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how in America, the only reason why Negroes right now are roaming around, being able to do anything that we want to right now, just as free as any other white person. Want to know why? Because of white people. See what I'm saying? No gratitude whatsoever. They're not talking about the fact that a lot of black people that were over in Africa that were slaves, some of them were born into slavery. Your family was considered to be less than by black people. Black people considered your black self and your black families to be less than. You were going to be nothing more than a slave. That's all you were worth. You definitely wasn't going to be in the black people, Africans bloodline. You definitely wasn't going to be of royalty. They wouldn't dare allow your little black slave born self to marry one of their royalty daughters. No. So you were just sold off for tobacco. You were sold off for guns. Black people sold you off for that. So now you get over here, and by the grace of God, I don't care what anybody say, by the grace of God, you get over here in America, and our ancestors, our ancestors, it depends on where you came from. Our ancestors in the South had to endure some crazy, atrocious, disgusting hardship. Our ancestors up in the North didn't. Point being, if it was not for something like that, if you don't look at that as being divine intervention, I don't know what to tell you. But right now, living in the greatest country in the whole wide world, no black people can do what we can do here in America across this whole globe. No black people can do that. What we do here in America, we are the only black people on the face of this world that can do what we're doing in America. That's it. You can't, what black people get to do in America, you can't do that over in Africa. You can't go and do this over in China. You can't do this over in Australia. You can't do this in Russia. You can't do it in Poland. You can't do it in Greenland. You can't do it in Samoa. Can you? You can't, the things that we get to do here in America, black people, you can't do that nowhere else. You see what I'm saying? You need to get yourself out of this mind frame like you some victim. Get yourself out of the mind frame. You people, black people, you acting like you over in Africa right now and white people selling y'all over here right now. You in slavery. Get out of that dumb, wake up. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Wake the heck up. You are not a slave. So stop going around acting like you won. Your mama didn't get sold off into slavery. So stop acting like she did. Your dad didn't get sold off to slavery. No, he left you because he's a deadbeat father. You act like, well, he took my father from me. Took my daddy, man. He took my daddy. Yeah, he took my daddy. No, your daddy left you because your daddy is no good. And the reason why your daddy left him because he's repeating the pattern that his dad did. That's what I'm saying. Quit acting like you we enslaved. Quit acting like you part of Amistad right now. You sitting there like we just ain't changed. See, I can't even move. I can't even go out my house. I can't even go jogging. I can't even go do anything. White people gonna hang us. Man, I ain't celebrating no Halloween because whenever I see them showing somebody hanging, I know they showing that because of us. Stop acting like you in slavery right now because you're not. See you going around with no dang on shirts on and Huckleberry fan like type clothes going, oh, Mary, won't you eat? Follow the drinking gourd. Get the heck out of here. You are not in slavery, so stop acting like it. Get the heck out of here. You are not bound by anything that's systemically keeping you down or anything like that, like it was way back in the slave days. So stop acting like that. But guess what? All I can do is just tell you that. Get ticked off at me because I'm coming at you. It does not matter because what I'm saying to you is the truth. These folks, whoever sold you this lie, you need to be going after them. Go after the individuals or the media or the rhetoric or the narrative that is selling you this nonsense and got you acting like you a slave. You up here talking about you oppressed. Boy, you got people in the slave, the people during the slaves probably like, what in the world? If slaves can come back right now out of the grave, I bet they would just like they would probably massacre them almost all black people. I bet you money that slaves during slavery, during the late 1870s, I bet you they would trade places with any black person right now. You put yourself in the grave and switch places with them. They'll come here and become some of the biggest successful black people you ever heard of. But here you are going around acting like somebody got you down and got you in chains and you can't do anything. I sure wish I can go get a cheeseburger. The heck out of here. You can do whatever you want to. Jenny Magnuson, appreciate the super chat there again, folks. Also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm going on. I didn't got hot because this topic is just it's something that needs to be talked about. It's something that needs to be addressed in such a way that it needs to be brought forth in nothing more than the truth. But they don't want the truth. They want to turn their backs to it. They rather stay in the position they're in because it's so easy to be a hypochondriac. It's so easy to be a victim. You want to know why? It takes no work. It takes no energy to be a victim. It takes no energy to stay where you are, does it? It does not take any energy to sit there and stay dormant. Just stay there. Just stay. It doesn't take no energy not to move. It takes energy to do something. Even the word do itself means that you actually are doing some type of action. But it takes no energy to sit there and just cry and complain. Do it. No energy at all. How many of you how many of you taught your child how to walk? How many of you ever taught your child how to walk? Huh? When you taught your child how to walk, what did you do? Some of y'all used a walker, right? But eventually you knew that walker had to be taken away. Didn't you? What did you do? You would pick your baby up, put them on their 2 feet, didn't you? And this is really important right here, what I'm about to say, because this is exactly how God works in your life. This is exactly how success works in your life. As a parent, when you taught your child how to walk, you would pick your baby up and you would put your baby down. You would stay close to them, wouldn't you? This is listen to this real close, ladies and gentlemen, because this is pretty deep. You would put your child on their feet, but you would stay there with them and they're balancing themselves, they're moving. What are you there for? As a parent, why do you stay so close to them a little bit? Because first of all, you're testing them in different levels that you want them to achieve. First of all, the first level that you want them to achieve is balance, right? Some of y'all right now, that's the first step into getting your life in order. You need to find balance first. Find balance first, okay? Some of y'all want people to hold you up, but that's not what a good parent do. That's not what a good leader do. That's not what a good mentor do. I'm there in case you lose your balance and I can catch you, but I'm not there to keep you balanced. I'm there if you lose your balance. But the whole purpose of me putting it there is so you can learn how to actually balance your own self. I'm not going to do it for you. I want you to learn to balance your own self. Now, guess what happens? Step number 2. What happens in step number 2, ladies and gentlemen? Step number 2, once they get their balance, what do you as a parent do? You move away from your child because guess what? You are confident that they can stand on the ground right now. You are confident that they can balance themselves, right? What do you as a parent do after that? You what? You encourage them. Come on, come on, come on. Your child will sit there. And what do? You still encourage them to come, don't you? Look at that child. They're scared. They are scared to take those first steps. Black people, trailer park people, I'm talking about you individuals of a certain mindset. You're scared to take that first step. You are. I don't know. I don't want to because they said that we can't. I can't. No. And you got other people like me sitting there saying, no, come on. Take the first step. Because no matter what, when you take a first step, if you lose your balance, I'm there to catch you. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to hold your hand and walk you. Why? Because I'm trying to make you be independent. Yes, this is on a spiritual, emotional, and mental level that I'm bringing this at y'all. But I'm telling you, you learn a lot of things to your own children. That's what I do with my own. No matter how much my sons cried, whenever I left them there and I'm like, come on. They start taking them first steps. And as soon as they get ready to lose their balance, guess what? Boom, I'm there to catch them. Now, what do? They gain confidence in me. And they gain confidence in themselves. They know this. Wait a minute. I took a few steps and he caught me. So I know there's no danger in falling because he's going to be there to catch me if I fall. But what did I do? I didn't catch them and then walk them along the way. No, I caught them and sat them right back up. Come on, let's do it again. Guess what ended up happening? All you guys that have children that are older right now your child is nothing to walk right now, is it? But that's what you do. You come on. And they'll walk. They'll walk all the way to you. And as soon as they make it to you, when they make it to the distance that you want them to make it, what do? What did you do, ladies and gentlemen? When you had your child walk a certain distance and that child made it to you, what did you do? You praised them, didn't you? Oh yeah, you did it. Yeah. So guess what that did? That put confidence in that child again to want to try it again. Because guess what? Now the child is no longer worried about their balance. They're no longer worried about their fear. They're no longer worried about walking. What they're looking forward to now is your praise. Same way I trained my dog. My dog is 10 years old right now. And from the moment that I started training Balin, I trained him from the day one that we brought him home. Every time Balin used the bathroom outside, I praised Balin and gave him a treat. Balin is 10 years old right now. Guess what Balin does every time he pees and poop? He runs straight to me and he wants those praises. You see what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people need to understand. Now your child is doing what they're doing. They're no longer doing it because they're scared. They're no longer doing it because they're scared of balance. They're no longer doing it because they don't want to take a step. They're now doing it because they like the response that they got out of you. What am I saying this all for? This is what is like a mindset that is keeping people down. Why did you think they said Harriet Tubman kept on coming back trying to free other people? And there are people that they don't talk about either in the history books, that there were other men that went back to plantations to free people. You know why they went back? Because they wanted everybody else to see exactly what it was like to be out of that mentality, to be out of that physical slave and entrapment that they were in. That's the reason why they wanted them out of. The reason why you want to teach your child to walk is because you knew that that was going to be the foundation to almost everything they can do in their life is by first taking steps. And that's what I'm saying to you right now, black folks, listen to this. Your first way of setting the foundation to getting out of the mentality, you first have to take steps. But guess what? I'm not gonna push you. I'm just gonna set you up and put you on. You got to learn your balance first, learn to take those steps first. And when you take those steps, I'm going to praise you for becoming independent and walking the distance or getting to the goal that I set for you. But if you don't want to walk to that goal, that's all on you. That's you. All right, so let me read this right here. Stormy, really, really appreciate the super chat. And God bless you for that. Says, why so many people are focused on where we were than how far we have come? Amazes me. God, your channel and folks in your video chat giving me hope and commitment to our future. God bless you all. Stormy, really, really appreciate that. And again, God bless you for that super chat right there. And why so many people are focused on where we were? You know why? It's stupid. I don't even know how they, this is what I always tell people. How can you sit there and get focused on somewhere that you never were? You weren't even there. But what they know is that black people are extremely emotional, extremely reactive, without giving no thought to it. So they play off of that. Can you imagine how strong and powerful of a weapon it is for you to be able to get some black people to believe that they are in slavery right now? See, that's a trick. We know that there was slavery, but the end result, they have you feeling like you are in slavery. And not only do they got you feeling like that you're in slavery, you are reacting and carrying out attitude and behaviors as if you are in slavery. Oh, no, that's not true. Okay, but white people still oppressing black people. Oh, we still have a race issue in America. White people still going out and gathering black people up and hanging them and burning them. White people still going around pouring tar on black people. Get the heck out of here. None of that stuff. Like now, not saying that there's not racist people in America, but none of that stuff is going on like they're making it like it's going on. Plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, I went on super long about this. To all of you that are in here right now, again, I really, really appreciate you guys all being in here. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate you guys taking time out your day to listen to me rant. God bless you all. And again, I say this again because I'm getting these messages that come in my phone. The shirt that you guys see pinned right here says, truth knows no color. Okay. Red, you said someone named Jude is wanting you to address his post on your ministry channel. I can't see what the post is on my ministry channel, but because this is the main one. My ministry channel is just serving as a means of, I mean, when I do this, when I use this streaming service right here, it pretty much puts the post on 3 different channels. So I can't see that because my main channel that I'm looking through right now, I can't see it. So I have no way of addressing that. Yeah, Admiral 6 Killer Owl, guys, let me just let y'all know this too, because I forget to do this. I do have another channel on YouTube. It's called MRM Ministry. Okay. I pretty much do a lot of stuff that I do on this channel, but everything on that channel, on the ministry channel, is mainly God focused stuff. Pretty much. That's why I call it MRM Ministry. And again, it's MRM, like Modern Renaissance Man, MRM Ministry. Okay. I am on Facebook as Modern Renaissance Man. I am on Rumble as Modern Renaissance Man, but there's 3 S's in Renaissance. I'm on Instagram as Modern Renaissance Man, but the O in modern is a 0. So M0DERN. Okay. I'm on Twitter as the real Ty Smith. Okay. But it might show up as Modern Renaissance Man as well. So if any of you wanted to go over there and check that out over there, feel free to do that. And again, appreciate you guys all being in here. I think that's all I have for right now, and I'll be moving on. I really do see a lot of comments you guys are leaving right here. I just can't read them all, but I do end the video and I go back and read the comments, and I do appreciate the love. I appreciate the well wishes, all that good stuff. All right. I do this because I love people and I love serving folks, and I just want the best for everybody. Plain and simple. It's that easy. Nothing more. I have no agenda. I have nothing that I'm trying to get out of people. Nothing at all. As you can see, by my attitude and by my spirit and how I am, you can tell I'm not trying to get nothing out of anybody. I'm trying to give something to people. Plain and simple. All right, folks. I hope and pray every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.